Hi, my name is Anna Valentino, and today we're going to be learning how to put together a flute. We're going to start off by learning the different parts of the flute, and then we're going to put it together. So there are 6 parts of the flute, 3 main parts. The first main part is called the head joint. The head joint contains the lip plate and the end pin. Next, we have the biggest part of the flute, called the rod. The rod contains the keys. Lastly, we have the foot joint. So let's repeat this. First, we have the medium-sized part of the flute called the head joint. The head joint contains the lip plate where you're going to blow into and the end pin. Next, we have the biggest part of the flute called the rod. The rod contains the keys. Lastly, we have the foot joint, which contains the rest of the keys. All right, so now let's put it together. What you're going to do is you're going to take your rod, which remember is the biggest part and contains most of the keys. You're going to take your rod and you're going to take your head joint, which contains the lip plate and the end pin. And you're going to twist the head joint into the rod, into the side that doesn't have any keys on the end. You're going to twist gently. Now, we want to align the head joint with the rod. So we're going to make sure that the lip plate, the center of the lip plate, and the center of the keys on the rod line up together. All right, next we're going to take our foot joint and you're going to twist it in to the opposite side of the head joint, the open side of the rod. You want to make sure that the keys are touching. All right, so now to align the foot joint with the rod, you're going to take the rail on your foot joint and the center of the keys on the rod and line them up. Another way to align your foot joint and your rod is to see if there are arrows on the side of your rod and your foot joint. If there are, then you can line those up. But if there aren't, which is totally okay, you can just take the rail on the side of your foot joint and line it up with the center of the keys on the rod. All right, so now you have a flute. Now, let's disassemble our flute gently, and we're going to try this again. So, you're going to take your rod, which has the keys, and you're going to take your head joint, which contains the lip plate, and you're going to twist the head joint into the side of the rod that doesn't have any keys on the end. Then, to align the head joint and the rod, you're going to make sure that the center of the lip plate and the center of the keys line up. Lastly, you're going to take your foot joint and you're going to twist it into the side of the rod that has keys at the end, so that the keys on the foot joint are touching the keys on the rod. Now, you have 2 choices. You can either find the arrows, if you have them, on your foot joint and your rod and line them up. Or if you don't have arrows, which is totally okay, you can line up the rail on your foot joint and the center of the keys on the rod. Now you want to make sure that the rail is in the center of your keys on the rod. And there we go. Now you have a flute and you're ready to play. So today, what I hope you learned is the different parts of the flute, and I hope you learned how to put it together by taking the rod and attaching the foot joint and the head joint.